Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Roberts, Content Director of Printing Impressions, and with me today I have David Ridgway, owner at Beltsville, Maryland's House of Print and Thread. Thanks for joining me today, David.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we're here to talk about some of your recent installations from Canon, but first, why don't you give us a brief overview of House of Print and Thread, what segments you serve, and a little bit about the company.
Well, I've been in the industry since 1977, and House of Print and Threads has been basically in business since 1999. Um, Small commercial print shop is what we've morphed into. Background is data process and direct mail industry, and we've always done BDP printing, so we had print engines. And 4 or 5 years ago, we fell into a customer that we are supporting that's in the insurance compliance industry. We currently have two Canon Titan black and white engines, along with two Canon image presses, a V1350 and a V800. Last year, we produced 28 million black and white pages, and we're going to probably do that this year again. But the big thing is the color volume. Last year, we did maybe 1.5 million pages. So far this year, we've already passed 2.2 million, and a lot of that's attributed to the Canon 1350.
Wow, yeah, and I definitely want to get deeper into that. So maybe first let's talk about, some of the biggest challenges that you've had and how have you overcome those challenges or addressed them with the technology that you have or the process changes that you've made?
The biggest issue with the previous vendors we had is, uptime and having the machines run. I'm a very small shop as far as employees. I have one full-time and two part-time people. And to be able to produce the volume that we produce, I need to count on my machines that when I come in the door, they're ready to run. And, after 2 years of literally pulling our hair out with the previous vendor, I canceled the leases and switched to Canon because I needed more uptime. And they seem to have the best technology at the time for the market that I'm in. We're not ready for inkjet yet. Not sure that we see that in our immediate future just because I'm a small shop, but we do put up a huge volume of work. And the Titans particularly have been just unbelievable. I think in 2 years, if I've had a dozen service calls, I'd be surprised. And they just run and run and run. And the 1350 is same thing. It's just the uptime we've had has just been phenomenal. The registration with the technology they have in their sensing unit is over the top. I really couldn't ask for anything other than, another one right now, but I don't have space.
Right. So you mentioned that you installed the two Canon VariPrint 6000 series Titan monochrome presses. So, and I know you've mentioned earlier, you mentioned your volume has just exploded. Have your turnaround times changed since installation?
Turnaround times have changed. In fact, that everybody wants it even faster than we've always done it before. And part of the core of my business is if I say I want to have it done, we will get it done. So we serve not only some private customers, but we do work for a lot of other commercial print shops where they can't get it turned around fast enough. It's overflow work or it's a crisis. Hey, call Dave and Dave will get it done. And once again, because we have the technology in place, with the uptime that we have, we seem to be able to always pull it off.
Yeah, and I'm sure your customers are very thankful for that. So you're running Prismacync on your Titan presses. Has that helped your productivity and efficiency at all?
I would say yes, the Prismasync on the Titans, and I've had all the major players black and white boxes in my career. The Prismasync is the simplest, easiest interface I've ever used on black and white printers. Click, 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 and you're up and running, recalling jobs. Everything's just right there. Even sending the job to the printer and the speed of the processing when we send a job. It's not unusual for us to do a book of 1,400 pages, send it a PDF of 1,400 pages. It's got it processed and ripped and printing probably less than a minute. So, you start adding up, you're saving 2 minutes here and 10 minutes there. It all adds up during the day. And the Prismasync's been a game changer.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So moving to your other installations. So you installed an ImagePress V1350 and an ImagePress V800 digital color press. So can you talk a little bit about the benefits that you've seen from that technology?
So on the 1350, the sensing unit that controls the color and the registration, I'm still blown away today by we hardly ever have to adjust the registration. I mean, and it is spot on. So once again, be able to walk up to the machine, call up a job, hit print, and not have to worry about registration issues. Take it back and put it on the cutter, and you got a black line where all your crop marks are. Once again, was a game changer from our previous machine we had. On the V800, we have that primarily to do the banner printing. And same thing, the registration on that is incredible for a small footprint machine. Print quality is extremely, extremely good.
So David, maybe you can talk a little bit about your relationship with the Canon team and what that's like.
With all the vendors I've had in the past, they've all been salespeople basically. And the Canon team, from their print production specialist to the quote unquote actual account representative down to the service technicians, they bend over backwards for me. Um, they've never let me down. When I call and say I need something, they seem to pull rabbits out of the hat. Parts show up, or they, get the right people on the phone. Just a totally different experience from the previous vendors we've had.
So I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier, which was that you have a small team, and I think you had mentioned earlier you have to me that you have one full-time employee and two part-time employees.
Correct.
Okay, so how are you able to meet the high production demands on the production and finishing side of the business with a small team?
It's all about having the right technology and the right equipment. I spend a lot of money on equipment. I don't know how many shops have come in and it's like, well, how can you afford to buy this and buy that? And my answer is, how can I not afford to buy this and buy that? And I see that in the industry that a lot of small shops don't have the foresight to invest in new technology. And, all the new products, either binder equipment or the printers, they're all being geared to more and more automation because we can't find dependable employees. So for me to be able to take somebody that really has no printing background, show them, this is what you do to run this machine, and they can pick it up in a day or two. Are they going to be a crafts person? Oh, absolutely not. Can they be an operator? Oh, absolutely.
Right, and that's a wonderful point because I know that a lot of print shops in our industry are having similar challenges. So that's a great thing to hear. So you mentioned that over the past couple of years you haven't had to have a lot of service calls for your Canon equipment. But I'm interested, maybe where do you see your business going in the future, and what are your expectations for Canon to support you moving forward?
In my mind, Canon seems to be the lead player in new technology coming down the pike. I know their huge emphasis is on inkjet. Still seems like, that the toner-based color boxes are going to be around for a few more years. They just seem to improve, and especially with the interfaces and what the software can do to talk to the machines, the reliability of the machines. The 1350, I mean, even the paper feed decks. If we have a jam in the paper feed decks once a week, I'm surprised. They just seem to work. So, I mean, whatever they're doing as far as the engineering of the machines, they're definitely making strides in producing a product that runs. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. No machine is. But, compared to what the previous machines I've had, there is no comparison.
Well, that's a really powerful statement. So, David, thank you so much for joining me today.
Anytime.